Hey guys, Dabu7. We've got a lot going on with the markets out there, and the US dollar is falling big time. It's fallen to the 14-year support level. You can see here on this graph. Once it breaks down through this, it's no man's land, and it can free fall for a long time. When this happens, this means that the cost of living and basically the power of the dollar is falling out. Cost of living is going to rise, power of the dollar falling out, and this goes hand in hand with what you're seeing with gold, silver, and all the precious metals. People are diving into them big time, but we've got big industries out here making moves, stopping people from getting their hands or even selling. Some people like scratching their heads like, why can we not even sell to some of these places? Well, like APMEX, their CEO just came out and announced a $20,000 minimum to sell your silver to them. That's up from the $10,000. And then you have Kitco putting a $5,000 limit on orders. And huge moves here that are pretty much unprecedented. We just witnessed gold and silver jump up and break not only records, but they hit these benchmarks that we talked about, the 51 and the 100. Gold's done just that. It surged past 51, and silver ran all the way up to like 118, pulled back. It's going to continue its tear as well. If bombs drop in any of these settings, whether it's Venezuela, Cuba, Iran, anything like that big on the world stage, you can expect gold and silver to continue to run. Now, Tether, if you missed it, they came out and they made a big move in terms of launching USAT. This is a federally regulated dollar-backed stablecoin for the U.S. market. It's official, okay? If you missed the news on the Genius Act, what they did is they connected the U.S. dollar to all these stable coins before any other country could do it. And Tether just came out with a huge move and announced they were going to back their Tether with a 1/1000th of gold, which is huge because anything backed by gold that you can redeem and get that gold is going to be utilized over anything else that you can't. This may be the closest you ever see us get a gold standard connected to the dollar, but it will not be to the dollar. They could have done that very easy, but they didn't, because this is not just de-dollarization. This is de-fiatization. They are killing the fiat around the globe. This is the move. Kill the dollar, fiat, all in one swoop. And it's not so much to kill the dollar all in all, it's to initiate this reset, to get it pushed onto this digital system, if you will, the blockchain system that we've warned you about this whole time, the beast blockchain system. If they can do it through Tether and all this, the U.S. will, and it looks like they are. Because remember, Donald Trump wrote an executive order that it wouldn't be called a CBDC. So you won't see it in that form here, at least under him. But this is how they're rolling it out, right in front of your face. So as the dollar is crashing out, so too are other fiats around the globe. Even though the dollar is crashing, it's still used for more than half of all the trade in everything around the globe. China only consists of like less than 7%. That's the reality of it. But what they're all preparing to do is to transition to digital. This is a huge setup. It's massive, and it's underway. You can see that also in the reflection of the gold price, silver price, which will continue to run. It shows there's no confidence in not only the dollar, but in any of these fiats, which that's our privacy. When you give away the fiat, even though it may be worthless monopoly money, at least you have the privacy to go buy whatever you want with no one knowing. You have that freedom. That's all gone as soon as this reset happens, as soon as this transition goes down. It's in the midst of happening right now. So Heads up, everybody. Keep an eye on gold, silver, and I'm still wondering, is there anything in Fort Knox? Join me for the live streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Much love.
First and foremost, before we get started, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash, and double honors to those great millstones while learnt his truth, and also to those elect that are scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great and powerful lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And the type of day lesson is, great trouble is near. It is about to go down. So I like to say shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope this will be today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So we seen in the opening video about Dabu 70, he was talking about how the dollar is on the decline. Also, it is possible collapsing. So is the dollar it is on its way out. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing the end of the dollar. You know, so we know that they'll get ready to bring in this new digital society, this new cashless society. This is what we've been constantly warning you about. But a lot of people right now, very distracted. A lot of people are not considering. And all of a sudden, when these things go down, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people are going to be bugged out of their damn mind because they're not prepared. You know, they're not watching. They're not believing. A lot of people right here still have this mindset of this wicked queendom, you know what I'm saying? Which in fact the Lord said, flee out in the midst of Babylon, out of this mindset. Because when it finally hit, a lot of people are going to be in great distress. A lot of people are going to be very afraid. That's exactly what we're warning you about. We already knowing about what's going on in Minnesota, the beginning stages. These things, they're constantly putting it right in place, right before your eyes. So let's get a little bit of this AI overview. Quick Google search idea. It is the dollar on the collapse. So right now we're hearing of what rumors of a great crashing in the heel, a great economic collapse. We're seeing left and right that the dollar is constantly plunging into chaos. So right now we already knowing that the reset is right here around the corner, and also we already knowing that it's already rumors that things are getting ready to go digital 2026. So we're seeing right now they are wrapping up their enterprise. They are wrapping up their agenda, their plan. So we're seeing it happening right before our eyes. So now let's get a little report. It says here, while the U.S. dollar is facing significant pressures from a record national debt, de-dollarization trends, and a 9% decline in 2025, a complete imminent collapse is considered unlikely, but most economists said the dollar remains the primary global reserve currency, said, though it is expecting a slow burn, said decline rather than a sudden crash. So right here, we knowing, they're not going to come straight out and tell you that, the dollar's crashing, this fiat currency is getting ready to be obsolete. They're not going to tell you that. They're saying right here it's going to be a slow burn. So it's like gradualism. But right now they're wrapping it up pretty much. The dollar is already crashing. They're already putting this system into place right before you. They already have this new currency. They're getting ready to bring it out. It's going to be working hand in hand. CBDCs, they're not calling it CBDC, but that's, they're going with like a stable coin, but it's going to work hand in hand with that grain of rice. So we seeing now these things are getting ready to come into play with this blockchain technology, this new system, this new beast banking system. They're putting it into place right before your eyes. So it's going to line up perfectly with what Revelation chapter 13. This is what the prophet been constantly warning you about. A lot of people are still are not considering. A lot of people are still not believing. Going on with their daily life, working, you're still eating good, still have your family, but all of a sudden all these things about to go down right before your eye, because it's already been prophesied in the middle of the Lord. We constantly been warning you left and right, whether you were here or whether you will for back. We sound like a broken record, but these are the times that we're living in. It says here, key factors in influencing the dollar, say in 2026 is a persistent weakness. Said the dollar has shown continued weakness in early 26. Said dropping below key trading range from late 25. So exactly, we've been noticing that decline ever since 2024. It's constantly been plunging ever since that ever since the petrodollar agreement had went out. It started just a sharp decline. And also we know that a lot of these nations, they're not dealing with the dollar anymore. They're not using the dollar anymore. They're going with this. They're going with the BRIC nation. They're coming with their own currency very soon. So we're seeing right now that the dollar is on its way out. It's just by design. It's just been manufactured. Yes, it has, but it's through the will of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. The Lord controlled the minds of these leaders. So we're seeing right now, it's saying that it's showing weakness, and that about we already knowing that the sown places get ready to become unsown. It says here the national debt and inflation. It said mounting. So national debt and potential inflation risk alongside high interest rates have increased concerns regarding a low-term stability. So right now we know, a lot of things are constantly increasing the prices or at the store, your grocery store, at your medical supplies, your fuel, your water, things are just constantly going up, what you call inflation. Then things will turn into a hyperinflation. So we coming upon these time, a great economic collapse, a great crashing in the hill. We already knowing right now that America is in another recession. Also, it's rumors of another a government shutdown. I think around January the 3rd, just in a day or two. So we're going to see how that play out. So a lot of things is, it's coming upon us at a fast pace. So we're seeing right now, a lot of things are going to get very, very critical. So a lot of things could happen. What happened back in, I think it was back when October, the first one, it went for a long time. I think it was right at 50 some days. They had that shutdown, but we're seeing right now that, this shutdown right here is not going to ever come back. They taking out the old system and they bringing in the new system. Everything is getting ready to go digital, programmable, also implantable. This is where we at right now. This is what we constantly been warning you about. Our salvation is very, very close. It says here, it said reserve currency status. Said despite losing some ground, said with the shares of global reserve falling to 56.92%. And that's all we're going to get of that, So, we don't want to get these numbers and stuff get caught up in these numbers because, they'll say this number, say that number without it about it. We seeing right now that the price of gold and silver is skyrocketing right now. We already knowing that we get, everything is getting ready to go back to a gold standard. And everybody going to start with this stable coin, but we already know that they using that, but we know that this is going to be this new central bank digital currency. You already know that it's coming. It's going to work hand in hand. That's going to be your new money working along with this, the Karagma. So that's exactly what's happening. We're seeing this right now. The outlook is looking very, very dark, that very dark forecast. And about it, a lot of these stock brokers, these stock advisors, they know exactly what's happening. They seeing that dark forecast. A lot of them, they're doing these they selling and they bailing out. A lot of things is happening. You know what I'm saying? And when you're not watching, a lot of people gonna get caught up in these things. You know what I'm saying? Gonna be a lot of bank runs. A lot of people gonna be very a lot of people gonna be very violent when these things happen. Because we know when the food go. When the money go, all hell is going to break loose. So now, let's go here. Let's get a quick precept before we go back. We're going to go back and get another article. Let's get a quick precept right quick. Let's go here. Proverbs chapter 22, and also I have some videos to bring out too. It says here, Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 3 says, a prudent man foresees the evil and hides himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. So one thing about a prudent man goes into a wise man, someone that is always watching, someone that's always staying locked in, being circumspect, redeeming the time, seeing that we seeing things that is coming upon this earth. We're seeing the prophecy are speaking right now. We're seeing that the Bible is speaking loud and clear. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, we're here. These things are happening right before our eyes. A great economic collapse. We're seeing that the war drums are constantly beating. We're seeing right now that our naval fleet I think it's in the Persian Gulf right now. So we seeing at any given time, all hell can break loose. And also we know that things can go nuclear. We know that the implementation of that MOTB is right around the corner. So a prudent man foresees the evil, what we see the signs of the time, the prophecy, and hides himself. How do he hide himself? With this gospel, this wisdom, this knowledge that will sustain you in times of trouble, shall be a stronghold in times of trouble, shall be your shield and buckler. You know what I'm saying? Just like the name of the Lord shall be a strong tower. You know what I'm saying? The righteous run into it and is safe. So one thing about it, if the Lord is not on your side, you're going to be totally destroyed. We constantly warning you left and right. Said, but the simple pass on and are punished. So a lot of people are not aware that the dollar is crashed. They're not aware that World War III is right upon. They're not aware about the MOTB, where everyone, it's going to be a global event. That everyone is going to have to make a decision. If, you're going to have to consent. If you don't consent, then you will be put to death. A lot of things are getting ready to come upon us, left and right. Things are changing right before our eyes. It's called the Great Reset. So now, let's get this last here. Then we're going to go back and get one more article. Let's get this one here. It says, Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 6, it says, an end is come. The end is come. It watches for thee. Behold, it is come. So let's start back up at the top, verse 5. Let me get verse 5. So you for that. I said, thus said the Lord, power and evil and only evil. Behold, it's come. So right now we're coming upon a time of trouble that we've never seen before. Disaster after disaster is coming your way. Let's read in NLT. It said, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Disaster after disaster is coming your way. So right now, that's why I titled today's lesson, great trouble is near. It is about to go down. So that's where we at right now. That evil time is what we at the beginning of Jacob's trouble. You know what I'm saying? Also, we at the beginning of a time of trouble that we've never seen before, the hour of temptation, the hour of testing. So a lot of people right now don't have faith. They don't have works. And a lot of people are getting ready to be totally destroyed. Many shall be taken in a great number because of the lack of bread and in great tribulation. That's where we at right now. That's what we're constantly warning you about. And also we know that the devil is constantly is coming down with great wrath. We're seeing what's happening with ICE. We're seeing that they're constantly, putting all sorts of laws and legislation into place, constantly putting a tighter grip. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, we already know that right now everything is about to be set off. Verse 6 said, and evil is come. Said the end, an end is come. The end is come. It watches for thee. Behold, it is come. So right now we know that we're very close to the day of doom. So all hell is getting ready to break loose. And also we know that the Lord is getting ready to return. We know that things is constantly happening. The vibration is changing. We're seeing that things is constantly picking up. A lot of people are going around saying something is getting ready to happen. A lot of people are feeling this vibration. And one thing about it, right, this is the quiet before the storm. So let's drop down to verse because we're coming upon that great economic collapse, that great crashing in the hill. And one thing about it, we knowing that your silver and your gold is getting ready to be obsolete. It's going to be worthless. If the Lord is not on your side, it's not going to be it would not do you any good, because one thing about it, the Lord is only coming back for that one third remnant, which in fact is the house of David, the true believers of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Let's get this here. Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 19 said, they shall cast their silver, in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of wrath of the Lord. They shall not satisfy their soul, neither fear their bowels, because it is a stumbling block of their iniquity. So one thing about it, a lot of people thinking that they're a good case. I have this, I have that, I have gold, I have resources, I have a bunker. But guess what? If the Lord is not dealing with you, it's not going to do you any good, So one thing about it, that we seeing that now these things are into place. So we seeing what's going on also in Cuba. It's like a total collapse is going on down there, and also the America is asking for a regime change, a government change. So we already know what they want to do is put their puppet into place. We already know how this devil get down. We're not ignorant of Satan's device. So right now we are right upon the reset, and also coming into this digital society whereby it's going to be dealing with your biometrics, you know what I'm saying, face and eye retina scans, you know what I'm saying, face recognition, uh, um, eye retina scan, you know what I'm saying, social credit score, universal basic income. These things are coming into place, so that's where we at right now. We coming into this fifth industrial revolution. So right now it won't be any need for this fiat currency. They going out with the old and coming in with this new blockchain technology that's going to be powered by 5G and 6G. They get ready to make you the internet of bodies. So now let's go back here. Let's go back to let's go back here. Let's get this one about this. Just we probably might read the title of this one here. I think it's already looming that it could be another possible government shutdown. You'll see here. Let's see what we got here. It says here, based on current information as the early 2026. See, no. This is not the one. Let's go back. This is something else there. Let's go here. It's another one I'm trying to get. If I can find it, let's see. It's about a government. This is right here. Salaki for that. It says here, let's open up the title. Let's see if it'll pull up. It says here, this in here by CNBC. If I can get it, let me see, can I get it there? Let's see, read this title. It said the government is burling towards a partial shutdown over DHS funding. Say here's what to expect. So it's talking about a partial shutdown. Let's go back out and see, can I get another one that can show a little bit better here? Let's see it here. Let's see. Try to get another one. It said debate over ICE funding could cause another shutdown. Let's get this one here. See where they pull up. And see, so we seeing right now, they already told us that, that back in, I think it was back in December, that it could be another possible shutdown. So this one here could, be, when they shut it down this time, might not even be coming back. They get ready probably to reset everything. We know that the dollar is right at the edge of collapsing all the way together. They get ready to do away with it. So we're just going to read the title, then we're going to go to the video. It says here, debate over ICE funding could cause another shutdown. So what to know? So right now, they saying that about this ICE funding, they want to cut ICE funding because what's done transpired in Minnesota. We know the unaliving of that guy and also that woman. So we already know, this is all by design. So right now they're saying it's going to be a partial government shutdown. Now they saying that, it's nothing that anyone have anything to worry about. They saying that these government workers going to get paid. Also, they're saying that you're going to constantly get your government assistance like STAMP, Section 8, food stamp. I already said it once again. But anyway, all these different assistance. Social Security says it's going to constantly be rolling, but we're going to see, we're going to measure the time diligently, because you already know they say one thing and they will do another one. So we're going to see how this shutdown, a possible shutdown, I think it said January the 30th, going into February. So we're going to see how this played out, but we know that we're very close to a great reset. Also, this MOTB is getting ready to come into play. And also, we know that the war drums are beating. So now, let's start today's video. Then after the video, we'll start the lesson. And I hope that you will get edified.
We're on the brink of another government shutdown, and Dems are blaming ICE. Republicans do not have the votes in the Senate to keep our government open. Now, here's where this is going to be a little different than last time. This is expected to be a partial government shutdown. But let's be very clear about why. Senate Democrats are refusing to vote on this bill because of the funding that DHS gets. They would like the funding for ICE stripped out. And they're doing it on the heels of an American citizen, Alex Preddy, being murdered by federal officials just days ago. That matters. If a shutdown does happen, It starts at 12:01 a.m. Saturday, and it's not going to have the same impact as we saw back in October. After the last shutdown, Congress passed a law guaranteeing that federal workers would receive back pay. So while workers can miss paychecks temporarily, at least the fear of whether or not they're going to get paid is now gone. A lot of basic services are expected to keep running. Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, SNAP benefits, all are not expected to be impacted by a partial government shutdown. So for the most part, people's daily lives won't come to a grinding halt. Now, here's where things get interesting. The shutdown is driven by ICE accountability, not budget math, not procedural nonsense, but a clear refusal to keep funding an agency that keeps killing people and calling it enforcement. Republicans are saying that it doesn't matter because DHS has enough funding from the last bill. And that's true to a point. But even with contingency funds, a shutdown still slows things down. Overtime becomes harder to justify, contractors get paused, courts back up, coordinations get messier, and scrutiny goes way up. This isn't about ICE pretending to disappear, it's about pressure. And honestly, that pressure is on point. If the government can't function normally because ICE has become politically toxic, that's not dysfunction. That's accountability finally catching up. This shutdown also won't shock the public in the way that the last one did. It would clarify something much bigger. You don't get to govern through fear, violence, and zero oversight, and still expect business as usual. This isn't about chaos for chaos' sake, but rather a line being drawn.
Oh my God, I wish they stopped with this foolishness already. Look, Americans, if you haven't reached your boiling point, you need to hurry up and catch up, because this Saturday we could be facing another government partial shutdown around 12:01 a.m., which is conveniently placed around tax season. And I don't know about you, but I worked hard all year and I want my money. Now, let me tell you why we could be facing this partial shutdown. Because the Democrats want to strip the Department of Homeland Security's funding. I'm going to tell you right now, the Republicans are not going to go for that. They're trying to secure the homeland. So what in the world makes you think that they're going to go for stripping the Department of Homeland Security? This is just got to stop.
So we see it right now. We're not ignorant of Satan's device. So they keep telling you that everything's gonna be fine. You're gonna get your benefits. Well, we're gonna see how it play down. We already know how this devil get down. So now let's start today's let's start the lesson here. Get a few quick precepts, and we'll close out. Let's go here, 2 Ezra chapter 16, and we'll start up at verse 18. It says here's the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. Say the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And one thing about it, we're seeing that we're at the beginning of sorrow. We're seeing the birth pain, all these different events and different things are constantly happening. War, pestilence, you know what I'm saying? The forecast, like a great economic collapse, could be a black swan event, false flags, these psyops, a lot of things that they're constantly putting right in your face, order out of chaos. A lot of things is happening, you know what I'm saying? We are, problem, reaction, and solution. You know what I'm saying? We already know that we're here. These things are right here. It said great mornings. Great mornings going to happen. We know if this dollar crash, we know it's going to cause great mourning. You know what I'm saying? It's a beginning of famine. You know what I'm saying? That great economic collapse going to cause a famine, a lack of food, a lack of resources. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things is getting ready to happen. And also it's going to cause this here, great death. You know what I'm saying? So exactly that's what's getting ready to happen. Many shall be taken in a great number because, you're not going to have the resource. You're not going to have food. You're not going to have your medical supply. People are not going to have shelter. So a lot of people are going to die within the first 72, that within a few days are going to be gone. Thousands to millions of people. So, this is going to be happening very quickly. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Lord said, always be watching, always be praying, stay locked in. You know what I'm saying? Stay vigilant. Because, we're living in some very even time. But the Lord said, his elect, the Lord is going to protect us. So we're going to constantly trust and believe in Yahweh at the beginning of wars. Just like I said once before, that naval fleet, that aircraft carrier is headed to, they said it has made it in the Persian Gulf, if I'm not mistaken. So we already know that World War III is constantly, is brewing. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing that things are picking up in the Middle East as we speak, and the least of the flock shall draw them out, which in fact is Israel. It says here, the beginning of wars and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? You know what I'm saying? Be watchful, pray without ceasing, and also trust and believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Verse 19 said, behold, famine, plague, tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute. So exactly what we're seeing, famine, plagues, tribulation, anguish, these things are sent for a minute, examine yourself, get yourself together, get your mind right, because we're coming upon these times. Get prepared, and the only way you will be prepared is through who? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Get the right mindset, let go of the model thought. Verse 20 said, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourge. So a lot of people, the majority of our people, they're not mindful of what's happening all around them. These evils are constantly growing. They're not mindful. They're going on with their daily life. They're constantly, being happy-go-lucky in a house of myrrh. Hey, I love it here, but you're getting ready to be unalive here. That's why I put it like that. So that's where we're at right now. One thing about it, when these things go down, a lot of people are in for a rude awakening. People are going to be very afraid. A lot of people are going to give up the ghost. It's going to be a lawless time. It's going to be civil unrest, civil war. A lot of things is coming. That's what we constantly warn you, left and right. Verse 26, behold, victuals shall be good and cheap upon the earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Now, about them victims goes into what? Into your food, your groceries. Right now, a lot of people eating pretty good right now. Barbecuing, having a great old time, eating all sorts of abominations. But all of a sudden, these shelves are going to be bare. They're going to be empty. When the money goes, it's going to be bank runs. People are going to be ripping out these stores, looting, protesting, rioting, killing, graping. A lot of things are going to happen because what? You thought you was a good case. So people going to be just like animals out here trying to survive. And only the strong will survive, which in fact is the elect, the true believers of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And also we seeing right now, these evils are growing upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. That sword goes in also to judgment, and also all sorts of unaliving, famine, great economic collapse, passion and plagues, sickness, death. We hear, man, great confusion. It's going to be a crazy, lawless time that you have never seen before. Verse 22 said, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish in a famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So it's going to be food shortage, rolling blackout, cyber attacks, starvation, cannibalism. A lot of things are coming. That's what we're constantly warning you about. It's going to be blood touching blood. The love of many is right now waxing cold and cold. The violence is going to be so great. If the Lord is not on your side, you're going to die. That's what we constantly warn you, left and right. So all these things are right here, side in the motion, because the Lord setting these things into motion. The Lord is bringing this nightmare to an end. And also we're seeing that transition of power is taking place right before our salvation is at the door. So now let's go to our last and final script. Let's go here to Luke chapter 21. We'll close out here. Luke chapter 21 and verse 34. Luke chapter 21 and verse 34. And it reads that, take heed to yourself, lest at any time your heart be overcharged with satiety and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that the day come upon you unaware. So that's, a lot of people going to be unaware. That's what we constantly warning you about, left and right. But a lot of people right now, it's seeing is believing. That's what it's coming down to. Seeing is believing. That's where we at right now. Seeing is believing. So let's read this once again. Say, and take heed to yourself, lest at any time your heart be overcharged with satiety and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that the day come upon you unaware. So a lot of people are not going to be unaware when these things come upon. They're going to get caught in that evil net, that time of trouble. A lot of people going to trust in the strength of evil. A lot of people going to line up like clockwork. I got to eat. I need my medicine. You know what I'm saying? I had to do it. I was afraid. And one thing about it, you're going to be totally destroyed. You know what I'm saying? I had to do it. I was, this was the only way. How was I going to survive? Because a lot of people don't have faith. They don't have works. You're going to be totally destroyed. Verse 35 said, for as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell upon the face of the whole earth. So it's getting ready to be a global event. And one thing about it's called the hour of temptation, the hour of testing. The Lord is getting ready to try everyone on the planet. And the only one that's going to make it out of here alive is the elect, the true believers of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. Things are getting ready to get very, very bad. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, the Lord is not on your side. You're going to die once again. Verse 36, it says, watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. So one thing about it is where we at right now. You know what I'm saying? Watch ye therefore and pray always. That's what we got to be doing, left and right, and knowing what the Lord will is. So we seeing right now that things are getting ready to go down. We seeing right now that things these things are set into motion at any given time. Bible prophecy are speaking loud and clear in the middle, Lord. We're standing on our watch, and we're staying on fire for Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. So we seeing right now that, great trouble is near. We know that we here, it is at the door. We're seeing right now that our salvation is very close than ever before. We're very excited. So rejoice ye heaven. So the title of the day lesson, once again, is Great Trouble is Near. It is about to go down. So I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua Ba'ashim Rekah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom. Shalom.